Okay, so this is an introduction to my PC build. It's my first build I've ever done. I'm just going to take you through the components I'm going to be using. So we'll start off with the case. This is the Sharkoon Bulldozer, and I found it just by searching on PC cases and found the one I liked really. It's a mid-tower, so not too large. You can get these in different colours. This is the red version, but I originally wanted to get the green to match my keyboard, which is the Razer Black Widow. But all the other components were red and black, so I went with the red one. It does give me room to upgrade. You can fit a radiator on the top and a tall CPU cooler. Might add extra fans depending on case temps, but I'm not sure yet. Okay, so if we start off with the processor, this is the Intel i7. It's a 4770K, so it's overclockable. The 1150 socket. When I was choosing this, it's one of the better Haswell processors. I think it's the second best under the 4790K. It's overclockable, as I said. Mainly it's got lots of reviews and awards for its performance, so that's why I chose that one. The optical drive, it's a Samsung optical drive. Nothing really special about it. SATA power, just chose it because it was quite cheap. Don't really need it, don't really use it, just for installing the operating system and maybe loading the odd game or anything. So the hard drive is a 1 TB Western Digital hard drive. For games and documents, it's a black Western Digital drive because I've used black before. The green is quite unreliable, loses data, which I've found before. So that's why I chose the black version. The operating system is Windows 7 Professional. OEM version, so it's a bit cheaper than the full version. I was going to go Windows Home Premium, but this was cheaper, so I thought might as well get that one. The SSD is a Samsung Evo 840 120GB. I wanted the configuration of hard drive and SSD, so I can put the operating system on the SSD so it will boot faster and maybe programs. Originally had the Kingston HyperX SSD, but I went with this one because I'd heard Samsung more for SSDs and things like that. I think it was a bit faster as well. Sorry, I'm pausing. I'm actually I wrote what I'm going to say, so I'm reading it off here. RAM is Kingston HyperX Beast 2400 MHz, 8GB, so it's two 4GB RAM sticks. This gives me options to upgrade to 16GB later. It's red and black to match the colour scheme of the cold case. The thing is, I looked up the specs and it doesn't say the RAM supports the chipset, which is the Z97. But many people have tested it and it works fine, so I hope it works fine in my build. The reason I got the 2400 version instead of the sort of standard 1600 is because it was cheaper, but it's faster, which is surprising. So that's why I got that one. Now the motherboard is the MSI Z97 G45. When choosing this, I looked at the socket number of the processor I got and chipset to match, and this came to her on the search list. It's got SLI for future upgrades. It's ATX size, so quite easy to work with, and I like the fan control it has and the easy overclocking with the overclock Genie 4. Also I made sure it had the right number of headers and things like that for the case, so that's how I chose that. The graphics card. This is the ASUS GTX 770, the 2GB version, overclockable. I looked at the performance on the Nvidia website for the range of graphics cards, and the 770 had the best performance with price, without going ridiculously high into the 780s, which were about double the price. Then went through all the companies selling the 770 with the custom heat sinks and coolers, and compromised between the highest clock speed and lowest temperature. This doesn't clock quite as high as other cards, for example the MSI, but it does run a lot cooler. But obviously it is overclocked from the original one sold by GeForce Nvidia. And the last thing is the power supply, which is the Corsair Builder Series CX570, 750 watt. After I'd chosen everything else, I didn't have much budget left after all the parts, so I couldn't get the silent PSU from Corsair, which I'd seen previously, which the fan doesn't even turn when the system is at idle, and there is little load, so it might be a bit noisier, I don't know. I chose the 750, so I have enough power for SLI, but the cables are not modular, they're all fixed in, so I have to try and hide them in the case. So that's all the parts. I'm going to start building, so thank you for watching.